Houston, integrity, power down.
Go ahead.
All right, we see the roll, Stan. And for power down, we believe our steps are complete. If we could get just some situational awareness on the DU brightness, we feel like we have them 50% down, but let us know.
Checking.
Why is it turning? Why is it turning, guys? Why the f-
Integrity, we see DU3 right at center. We see DUs 1 and 2, a couple of clicks above center. We're checking power draw now.
Copy that, Stan. And obviously, when we go into eclipse, we can bring them down a bit further.
Roger.
Is that smoke? What is that?
And Reed, when we get into eclipse, we would like those extra clicks on DUs 1 and 2.
But this is cool, guys.
Yeah, you got it. We did bring 1 and 2 down a touch, but we'll bring them down as far as we can when we get into eclipse.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Booster ignition and liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2
This is a replay. This is a replay.
Next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis 2 mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high.
AMT high.
On time, passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate beacon. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the 4 main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
Good evening and welcome to NASA's Artemis 2 post-launch news conference. I'm Bethany Stevens, Senior Advisor and Press Secretary, and I will be your moderator today. I am joined by Administrator Jared Isaacman, Associate Administrator Amit Kshatriya,
Acting
Associate Administrator for the Exploration System Development Mission Directorate, Dr. Lori Glaze, and Director of Flight Operations, Norm Knight.
Oh, no, but his is.
Administrator Isaacman will give opening remarks, and then we will open the floor to questions. If you are dialing in to be with us here today, please press *1 to get in the queue. And with that, Administrator.
Thanks, Bethany. Good evening, everyone. So today, April 1st, 2026, 6:35 p.m., NASA Space Launch System rocket lifted off the pad with 8.8 million pounds of thrust, carrying the Orion spacecraft and the Artemis 2 crew out to Earth orbit and beginning America's grand return to the moon. Now, about 51 minutes into the flight, during a planned handover between satellites, the Orion spacecraft underwent a communications issue, leading to a temporary partial loss of comms. The uplink from Capcom to the crew was being heard by the crew, but we cannot hear their responses for a brief period of time. There were no issues with the vehicle itself. Comms with the crew have been restored. We're actively working the issue, and we'll keep you informed. The Orion spacecraft has successfully separated from the core stage, and its solar arrays have been deployed as planned. Soon the crew will execute the apogee raise burn, placing the spacecraft into a stable high Earth orbit as we prepare for the translunar injection and the journey into cislunar space. NASA astronauts Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, mission specialist Christina Koch, and Canadian Space Agency mission specialist Jeremy Hansen are safe, they're secure, and they're in great spirits. We will continue to monitor their health and the status as we move into the next phase of the Artemis II mission. So after a brief 54-year intermission, NASA is back in the business of sending astronauts to the moon. We have arrived at this point through a sustained effort, a national commitment, and the work of thousands across the agency, our industry partners, and our international allies. I want to personally thank the ground crews, pad controllers, the entire workforce here at Kennedy Space Center. This mission belongs as much to you as it does to the crew. The crew is now in the capable hands of Mission Control Houston, the Johnson Space Center, where teams will guide Orion through each phase of the mission with the same discipline and precision that has brought us to this moment. We have certainly been here before. We know the challenges ahead. We have a lot of checkouts to get through before TLI. And when, if all goes well, everything is go, Artemis II will be moonbound. You have our commitment to keep the public as informed as possible on this historic mission. And we will celebrate when this crew, we will hold our celebration until this crew is under parachutes and splashes down off the west coast of the United States. Thank you.
So with that, we will open this up to questions, and we will start here in the room if we have any takers. We'll start right up here.
Congratulations to all of you on a successful launch so far. My name's Jim Siegel. I'm with Florida Media Now. And I'm curious about when the astronauts will have their first meal on this mission. And secondly, is somebody on the Earth here, back in Houston or somewhere, keeping track of what they eat during this entire mission? And how do they go about doing that? Do they tell them what to eat, or do they kind of select what they want? What do you think?
Well, let's see. I'll jump in on this one. Well, what I'll tell you is they do have planned meals, okay? So they have a planned meal today. I will tell you they're very busy. So ascent day is very tough. It's tough physiologically, and it's tough from a workload issue as well. And so this timeline between now when the crew goes to sleep, so MET of about 8:30 is pretty packed. They're going to snack. They probably have some pre-positioned meals. I know they did in their flight suit. Some of the snacks that they can use if they need. But I will also tell you that flight day 1 and flight day 2, you might not feel like eating a lot, and that's just part of it. Your body is acclimating to 0G. Your physiology is transitioning from a 1G environment to 0G, and it takes a little bit of adapting. So right now they're working hard. They are doing what they need to do. They sound great on the loops. That was really a good signal to us that they're feeling well. But just know that that's part of the equation, when they get on orbit. As far as the food being tracked, yes, we have a food lab, and we have folks at the Johnson Space Center tracking what they eat, the nutrition, the calories. It makes a difference. They do this on Artemis. They do it on Space Station as well. So we're well versed in that. We want to make sure that they're healthy, and we also want to make sure we know what they're doing, what they're eating, so we can also track that and make sure that they don't need any supplements or anything additional.
Thank you.
We'll head over to Joey.
Thanks, guys, and congrats on a clean launch so far. Jared, or whoever wants to answer, how were you able to resolve the communications issue, and do you have any guesses as to what might have caused that? And was there any part of the mission so far that appeared off nominal, or is everything looking good? Just curious to hear how things are going on that. Thanks.
Well, on the comms issue, and I don't know, there may be someone here that has a little more detail than I do of having to run around quite a bit, but I think they're still looking into trying to really understand exactly what was going on there. But it's restored, which is important. I think it just...
It was during handover to Tejas West. Sometimes that's squirrely ground configuration. You gotta get that right. So hopefully that's what it is. But we'll chase it down. But they were able to recover. They had intermittent forward and return links, so the burns that they needed on board it was never an issue. It was unusual for it to be dropped out for a couple minutes. So that's what we're telling you. We had a controller issue with the toilet when they spun it up, so we got to work through that. That's going to take maybe a few hours to troubleshoot. So there was also a water tank valve. There's 4 water tanks on Orion. There's a crossover valve that connects the 2 gangs of tanks. It's supposed to be open to ensure maximum flow. It was closed during ascent. When you shake the thing, things like that happen. So they're going to reset the valve. And then they had a recurrence of on Artemis 1, we had a latching current limiter failure on a piece of electronics, a transient failure when it gets exposed to radiation. They took 1 hit of those. We took about 24, 25 of those during Artemis 1. Again, normal, the onboard fault detection cleans that up, but we're just getting started, Joey.
Just to be clear, right, this is a flight test, and a lot of what we're doing here is exactly this, trying to test out all of the things that require the crew interaction, right? And so we anticipate to have a lot of these. Well, that's what we're here for, work through them.
Sawyer.
Apogee rays burn. We're go. So they're going to stay in space.
Sawyer.
Thank you, Sawyer Rosenstein, NSF. I noticed that the slide wire baskets happened to deploy during launch. Is that something that was expected? And can you give any initial reports, at least what you've seen from the cameras, of how the mobile launcher is doing, given the hope to be able to quickly turn it around?
Yeah,
Do you have something on the baskets? I can talk about the turnaround.
The baskets they're supposed to get out of the way. That's part of the plan. So otherwise they take plume loads, and we don't like that.
So I can tell you on the mobile launcher, our team has already been looking at a lot of the imagery that we have that was taken both during and after, and assessing that, trying to get the condition. We've got teams, I believe, going out there. They might already be out on their way to take a real...
My phone's dead. GG. Yep, my phone just died. Fuck yeah. Fuck! Why? Why?
Why? We realized there were some issues, and we had to go back inside to find out, or we had to have our phones. Why was there no public address system available with loudspeakers outside?
I'm not sure what you're referring to. We're not sure what issue you're talking about the public address. Okay.
All available to people outdoors, and I thought that was a lacking. Which
We'll take a look into that.
We'll definitely look into that. I wasn't aware that happened. So thank you for that information. That's new, and we'll definitely look into it.
We'll go right back here.
Thomas Moore, Sky News. Administrator Isaac Mann, as a fellow astronaut, what were your feelings watching your crew rising above Pad 39B? And do you feel like a sense of responsibility for the crew as they head further in space?
I certainly felt that it would be I don't know, it's far less stressful to be strapped into the rocket than to be responsible for it. So I definitely had those feelings quite a bit. But, you derive a lot of confidence from the process that leads up to this moment. I mean, literally the army of people that came together across NASA, all our contractors, all our partners to prepare for this, every step that leads up to it. This is what I, was really honestly going through my mind through it, is all the testing that goes into it, the integrated testing, the flight readiness review. Not to mention you have a truly exceptional crew up there that have been training for years on this. That gives you the confidence to undertake this mission, especially knowing the implications that it is part of a much bigger program. This is America and our partners' return to the moon, and we're trying to do it the time to stay. So incredibly important mission. Certainly felt the pressure of it, but it was relieved, based on the confidence we have in the team here at NASA, and everyone contributes to it. Thank you for the question.
We'll come right up here.
Frederic Casta with France 24. First, of course, congratulations to NASA for the grand return to the moon. Mr. Administrator, I have this question that they ask me constantly in Europe and in the States. In the 60s, NASA was using just the slide rule to go to the moon, and they could launch almost every 3 months. what? Of course, they had more money probably, but what happened in 50 years? Why is it so difficult to make it again? What has changed? Thank you.
Well, for sure, we knew. Look, it's a very fair question. I know a lot of people ask it, not just in your country, but here in the United States. Certainly, financial resources are part of the equation. NASA's budget, if I recall, was somewhere between 4 and 4.5% of the discretionary budget during the space race. About a quarter percentage of that today. And I mean, to be very honest with you, I think competition is a factor in this as well. You know, it's a great way to mobilize the resources of a nation and concentrate on something extremely challenging, and that's what we did in the 1960s. And I think with absent some competition, we focused a lot on partnerships and all that we could do collectively with respect to science and discovery. But competition can be a good thing, and we certainly have competition now. I think that's why you're seeing us start to concentrate our resources back to the objective, and do it with a great coalition across the NASA workforce, our contractors, all our partners that have come together, our stakeholders in Congress and the administration who came here to witness this launch, is because they know we have competition, and this one's going to be close. And I think as a result, you're going to see a lot more progress, more so than you have in the, since when this was originally conceived under Constellation. We're going to get back into the business of launching rockets on a regular cadence, and we're going to bring the world along with us. So.
We're going to take a couple of phone bridge questions for just a moment. Reminder that you can join by pressing *1 to get into the queue. We're going to start with Will Robinson-Smith from Spaceflight Now.
Hi, thank you, Bethany, and congratulations, everyone, on a good mission so far. Question about the upcoming TLI.
You have in the, since when this was originally conceived under Constellation, we're going to get back into the business of launching rockets on a regular.
It connects directly to the idea of building the future.
We're going to start with Will Robinson.
What was that? Oh no. What's happening? Did something hit it?
Enter Houston on Tigris East. Good ARB.
Oh no. Is that bad?
We have you loud and clear, and we have an enabled caution. Tom, CMA-1, camera, temp high.
Integrity, we see it. We're looking at it. And Integrity, we just took that camera to heater mode, and that's the cause of the alarm.
Oh, there's an alarm going off.
Integrity copies.
Integrity Houston for toilet and for snorkel fan.
Lost communication.
Christina, for the toilet, with the fault you reported,
Communication's gone.
The toilet cannot spin up. You can still use it for fecal collection, but you'll have to use CCUs for urine. We are postulating that the oxone beads came loose and went in and jammed the fan separator. We might be able to get in there and clear it. We're working on instructions.
The camera's gone. What happened?
And
Communication's gone.
Quite faint. How else?
It's a blue screen. We're getting no communication.
This is the first transmission using the cabin mic, so I'm speaking louder and directly into it. How's that?
Better, but still much lower than when you were on headsets.
Okay, how's this comm?
Still the same, I'm afraid.
Copy. For your awareness, I am speaking very loudly and directly into the mic, so maybe we can look into some setting changes.
Can you try a different AIU, please?
Affirm. And how's this?
About the same, I'm afraid. And Integrity, can you confirm the snorkel fan inlet strap task is complete?
That's affirmative.
Thank you.
So, and that should be the idea, right, as we progress forward. I suspect when Artemis 3 comes around, we're going to learn a lot about the integrated operations that we'll want to validate and ensure is rolled into the subsequent missions. But yes, this should be a philosophy that we take across.
Christina, we have you clear, but still about 2 out of 5 for volume. Integrity, your last call was not readable.
Stand by, we're trying some. Houston Integrity, comm check.
About 3 by 5 now, Christina, and we are reopening that water tank Bravo Charlie ISO valve from the ground.
Why is it blue? Why is it so loud? Ow.
Integrity Houston, we are about to stream the docking camera, so if you're pointing that around the cabin and still doing suit doffing, careful where you point it.
All right, they're gonna put the camera back on.
We copy, and docking camera is installed.
The camera's gonna go back on.
Copy installed. You're still coming in 2x5.
All right, turn on the camera. Turn on the camera, bro. Turn on the camera. Why aren't they turning on the camera, bro? They're not streaming anything. It's a blue screen. Yo, turn on the camera, NASA.
Integrity Houston, we're still trying to understand your low comm volume. It may be the stubby mic, but we're still thinking about it. We're hoping for better comm on the Peltor when you deploy those.
Copy, Houston. We are going to be all four docked shortly, so this will be our prime comm prior to Peltors, and we just went to orbit config.
Copy orbit config.
Where's the camera?
Integrity Houston with a reminder for AGA.
Go ahead.
Sure this is on your radar already, but remember for the AGA ops, Snoopy cap to AIU to the wall.
Copy.
Integrity Houston for toilet and for snorkel fan. Integrity Houston for toilet and for snorkel fan.